What's going on, guys? We're about to actually head over to Mike's house. We're gonna get a little snuggy with it. Got my Recaro SPG. Thank you for that. Justin Lau out in the New York area. He actually had that for years. It's actually an older model, but hey, it's gonna work, and that's all that matters. So we're gonna try and see if we can get this thing to fit in. I have a universal bracket, I have the side bracket, but I actually want to try and mount it onto the stock railing. So we're gonna play around with that. It's just that I can't work here in the parking lot area. So I'm gonna head over to the mad scientist, Mad Mike, and we'll see what we can do over there. All right, catch you guys. All right, so I'm here with the mad scientist Klein. We got the first seat out, or it's only gonna be one seat. To take the guy out, obviously you got the 4 bolts in the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to just take this guy, which is the sensor, off of this clip, just pull on it, and then just use a flat head to pull out the sensors for the airbag. So now we're just gonna kind of check out the seat and see what the hell we can do to make this thing work. All right, we'll see what the outcome is. Alright, so we're looking at the rail here, and this is the stock seat. Stock seat had 2 bolts, one here, that you use a 7mm Allen key. These are the bolts here, 7mm, went into that guy and went into here. So we got that out, got the slider sitting here. Now the Recaro base plates actually fit perfectly to this hole in the back and along the slider, but we cannot get to the front hole without some kind of bracket. So it looks like, short of actually making some kind of bracket, which we don't have the ability to do that right now, it looks like we can't use it. If you decide to, hey, I'm never going to put in the stock seat again, and you actually want to just modify this and put in and tack in a bolt, just line it up, tack in a bolt after some markings, then you'll be good. But yeah, I would never be able to put in the stock seat. So I'm going to either check to see if how much these run on eBay, and if it'll be less expensive just to mount it on this, or or what. So, but that's where we're at. We'll see what comes up with. Alright, so we have a game plan due to time and trying to just get everything together. We're going to put it back in, but what we're going to do is end up modifying the stock slider, because I can always get another stock slider online, junkyard or so forth. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to remove this bracket and this bracket here, and then we're going to weld a bolt, not this long of course, but we can weld that into any of the positions that we want along this particular slider. The reason why we can't screw down in is because the handle we have to lift it in order to release, and as you can see, there's no clearance in there for us to do that, because the actual release mechanism is right here where we want to actually sit. So that's all. So yeah, we're just going to regroup on another day, and but now we have a game plan on what to do. We can get all the parts, and then the last part is a 3 ohm resistor. We're not going to put it on this side, but it is for the airbag, so we'll have to end up putting that in the car, on the car side, to make sure that the airbag light doesn't keep coming on. It doesn't make a buzzing sound or anything, it just has a light that intermittently comes on, or stays on and intermittently goes off. So that's it. So game plan is done. We shall execute at a later time. What's going on, guys? All right, Mike Klein, the main man, is here, and I'm over at his house, and we're actually just installing the Recaro seats into the NC. So one thing that we found out is that the design of this aftermarket bracket that I bought, not aftermarket, it's an OEM bracket slider, right? But I have to find out what year it is. So I'll put in what year this actually is, but there's a difference. On this one, they already have these bolts welded in, so that way all we have to do is just put that L bracket for your seat onto this. makes it super easy. It's still OEM and it's super light. In comparison, when you compare the actual 09 seat, the 09 seat is actually different. We actually have, we don't have these protruding bolts anymore. On the slider itself, there's actually screws that are inside the slider coming up, but we had to use an Allen key to get them out. Unlike these, which appear to be welded in. So it's different, trust me. We already took out this seat and tested it, which I'll actually take a shot from that video that we did. And yeah, that is pretty darn cool. So this actually makes things a lot simpler. I got these from Red Auto. It was some company down in Florida. I'll put the link down below. And they did a good job. This thing is like damn near brand new. I think the car, based off of the other parts in the transmission, was only like 13,000 miles on it. So it's pretty damn mint. So here's the seat that we're putting on. The Recaro comes are side attached. So then it's basically this L right here that we're going to mount, and then we're just going to, this belonged into an Evo. So this was one of the side braces for something. I have no idea. So we'll probably end up having to cut this off. But right now we're going to size up where the holes are to make sure that this can sit on it with no problem. So we'll check that out and we'll get back to you. Alright guys, so right now we're just measuring some stuff out. Mike just made the first hole right there, and so the bit that he used was a 32nd bit, and that fit perfectly onto the studs of the bracket here. So that is OEM, and that is the stud. So this right here is a 1336 as far as you use that bit to fit it just perfectly. So right now what he's doing is just doing the measuring from the front hole to what is going to be the rear hole, and we measured that out at 10 inches and an eighth. So 10 and an eighth from front stud to rear stud, and then the width that he already made is 16 and a quarter from left to right stud. So this is, as he said, and he's done quite a bit of these, this is probably the easiest.
Definitely the easiest.
Because all you have to do is just make the markings correctly, put it in, and then we'll adjust it once it gets inside the car. So yeah, easy peasy. So we'll continue on our work. Alright guys, so we got the holes all set up. We're about to do a test fitment, but before you do all that, just make sure that you go ahead and put in your seat belt. So what we're going to do here is basically use the same bolts that we use for the bracket to, or not bracket, the slider to actually go into the chassis. And we're going to just get a matching nut here. And since they both have the built-in washer, we're just going to go ahead and tie that guy in. We may have to just bend this clip a little bit to make clearance, but that's really about it. So yeah, just remember this, because a lot of people get the seat in, get ready to drive out, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't have a seat belt. And I'll find out a way just to zip tie this guy so that way it doesn't get cut on the slider. So that's what we're going to do next. Alright guys, so we're almost wrapping it up here. We're just doing the final tighten down. So what we found out about the side plate for the seat is just that we had to just make a few modifications just to make sure that everything lines up, because I'm a tall guy, so I just got to make sure that we can lower it as much as possible. Now these are older side plates, so all your modern ones has more slots, doesn't have where the Recaro isn't as big. So the new modern stuff just has a lot more, what's the word that I'm looking for, options. So just, it's aluminum, so we just tapped them and then made it all work. And then from here, we just from the OEM slider, you have these wells that just hold these sliders together. So just need a little washer here just to space it out. All right, so we're getting close. We're almost done. Gonna be finishing it up shortly. All right, guys. So before we put this thing back in the car, because we already did a test fitment, here it is. So Mike did his magic, crafting and modifying some stuff here. So some of the important things that you have to do is that the seat belt for this particular rail, make sure that you do a test fitment on this first, because we just had to bend and twist this to make sure that we have the nice angle for the seat belt. And then right here, I'm going to tighten that up once I put it in in the car, or just before I put it in the car, to get the better angle on here. We did have to take off the side pieces. Make note of that. So it's just a little Allen screws. But you know, with this seat, most likely, everything is gonna sell as is, or it's not gonna fucking sell at all. For the most part. Then the next thing is just a front slider piece. We had to take this out, flip it, and then also bend out the arms a bit. So this is stretched out towards us, and then this part was actually bent towards us also, more of an L shape with a twist, and then it was riveted. It does come riveted from OEM, so we just matched that, and this is actually a little bit oversized, so it's a little bit better than the OEM. The reason why we had to do that is because of this side plate to hold the seat in. We couldn't push this further, so that means the seat couldn't go any further forward, because we would lose all the meat right here, as you can see. So you have to have enough meat safety wise, although, you know, it's going in the aluminum, but you just don't want to break it all up. So what we're going to do right now is just put on the sides real quick. We're going to see if it can fit, depending on how long these screws are. Everything else is good. Again, you got the washers down below here. The OEM studs comes out with those OEM nuts, so you're all good there. So yeah, I assume this is from an NC3 slider, because a friend has the NC1, that didn't work. And then the NC2 is what the sliders that we have here, and that didn't work. So this must be from the NC3 and up by assumption, but I'll double check the model number from the place that I got it from. Alright guys, so we're gonna drop this stuff in. Let's see how it all works. Alright guys, so we're all done here. Mike did his magic. The car seat is in. As you can see right here, I don't know how the low light is gonna affect it, but it is night. So what happens is, because I actually have the side rails, there's no way around it. If you have side rails, you're really just going to be higher. The car seat is going to be higher, which it is right now. But the payoff is that I'm nice and snug. When I travel, my head is just about to hit the convertible top. So anytime I'm racing, I'm going to need to put the top down if it's raining, or I'm just going to be driving gangsta style. We ended up putting the seat belt. It uses a 14 millimeter, and that's that bolt right there. And we just pass it through the top and then wrap around. We did not use the hole here because that'll be just too tight on your legs. So just wrap it around, and it's not acting as any kind of brace in the seat. It's just really if you do get in an accident, that's what that's for. Unlike before, it'll lock on you and really keep you strapped down. It's not going to do that. So if you have a Miata, recommendation, try to get a seat that is not side mounted. It has a base mount, and then that way you'll actually, or if it is a side mount, try to get the one that you can attach it at the base, or get a different slider altogether. But yep, so this is it. OEM slider from an NC3 is what I'm assuming it is, because it's not on the NC1, it's not on an NC2. And then all you have to do is just modify your slider for the seat, not slider, but the side brackets for the seat, and you are good to go. So that's it. This is a Recaro SPG seat, nice and snug, nice comfy, and yeah. As far as weight, it is under the weight, so it's at 23 pounds. So I do have to ballast 2 pounds. So where I'm going to ballast it is just right there where that hole is. I'm just going to try and mount something here, or put something here that's around 2 pounds. I'm just going to put it somewhere near the seat area, in this area, to just say that I have 2 pounds in that area is really how it works. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys. And that is the nice, inexpensive way of doing this all. Take care. Thanks to Mike. He's over there packing up. Without him, I would have been struggling in the parking lot for about a day. Take care. All right, guys. So here's the end result. You got the seat installed. Looking nice and good. We actually passed this through right here, so that way we don't have to worry about, oh, we were sitting down, we have to reach up, over, and back to just try and get the seat belt, because normally it would sit right there. So it's just going to be a pain in the butt. So all you do is just, as you saw, take out that one bolt. It's also a 14. String it through, and you're good to go. But the seat, it's looking good. I sit a little bit higher than stock. I would say about a ½ inch. But altogether, everything is good. I have no really big complaints or anything like that so far. So first event is, I haven't tried it live yet as far as holding the G's, but I'm sure it's going to be good. So nice, everything's clear. Thanks again, Mike. Mike's the man when it comes to all this stuff, so thanks again for everything, man. All right, catch you guys on the next one.